Real estate investing made easy, or at least easier. And it starts with understanding your criteria. We dive into it in 3, 2, 1. Actually, I don't know why I'm even counting down. I just think it's cool. Let's go. Hey guys, we're meeting for the very first time. My name is William Dauria. I own a portfolio of single-family, multifamily commercial units. I escaped the rat race, the 9 to 5, by age 32, and I want to show you how it's not only possible for some, but it's possible for you as well. And it all starts with understanding your real estate investing criteria. Now, I'm going to start with this is going to be for flippers and for buy and hold investors such as myself that buy properties, renovate them, rent them, live on the money, and then do cash out refis, buying more properties, etc., etc. Today we're going to focus on what exactly is buying criteria, why it's so important, and how to take your Zillow search of 10,000 properties and narrow it down to say 50, which is much more manageable because I don't know about you, but I don't want to do an analyzation on 10,000 properties either. So your very first buying criteria should be understanding your bedroom count. Are you looking for a 1 bed, a 2 bed, a 3, and a 4? Now, I'm going to tell you that for rental purposes here in the North Texas area, 3-bedroom houses and 4-bedroom houses are the most sought after by far. Now, I do own some 2-bedroom houses. I do own some 5-bedroom houses, and they both stay rented. But the 3-bed, 2-bath houses, that's the next one we're going to get to, is the bathroom count, is my most sought after. So in my case, I choose 3-bed and 4-bed. So we're not only going to go over criteria, but I'm going to show you what I pick and also why. The next is going to be bathroom count. I like to stay with at least 2 bathrooms. Now, what do I mean by that, guys? I don't mean 2 toilets and places to go. I mean a full bathroom, okay? I'm talking showers, bathrooms, vanities, the whole 9 yards, all right? That right there is a bathroom. If you get like one that has just a toilet and a sink, that's like a half bath, okay? And 1.5 baths, they can work in certain areas, but I really like 2 baths because families generally like to have 2 different bathrooms, 2 different showers or 2 different bath options. Basically, you've got kids, you've got adults, everybody wants to do their own thing, and they just want to get in and get out and not have to wait in line, because if we don't have to wait in line, we don't like to in the first place. Don't blame you. So I choose 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom, and I like to get at least 2 baths if possible. The next one is exterior. Now, when it comes to just you're pulling up to the house, looking at it, what does it look like? It is a brick exterior. Is it a brick veneer exterior? Or is it just a frame house? Like basically like a wood house, okay? Not like, built in the 1890s, or at least, hopefully not. But, like a wood fascia exterior, or at least a look-alike wood. Or is it a brick exterior? What do you like better? I personally like brick exteriors. I think they hold up better over time. Actually, I know they hold up better over time. You don't have to repaint them or replace them. You don't have to worry about rot. They just don't show their age. Let me tell you a quick story. I was visiting Florida, and I went to this old military complex. It was right on the ocean, okay? Everything like metal as far as the prison bars and all that stuff was, obviously rotting and falling apart. All the brick on this entire complex, I mean, this was a huge infrastructure, right? And all the brick on this structure still look fantastic. Like the brick, if I were to clean it up a little bit, I could pass it off as probably a new brick. It was 150 years old. That's what I mean by don't show their age, guys. When you build a house out of brick, it's going to outlive my life. It's going to outlive, your life, the kids' lives. You know what I mean? Like you just don't have to worry about it. That's why I like brick. It's a set and done kind of thing, okay? So that's what I choose. I choose brick builds, 3-bed, 4-bed, at least 2-bath houses. Okay, so your next criteria is going to be pier and beam, such as this, or slab, such as this. And I'm going to link a video to the end if you don't understand the difference, but I'll just touch on this for a second. Pier and beam is basically where the foundation isn't sitting on the ground. It's actually up, and there's like a crawl space underneath it, okay? And I have a really good video with actually pictures and descriptions so you'll understand this. Like I said, I'll link it to the end. Okay, there's a crawl space, but here's the thing, guys. Some renters or if you're a flipper, some buyers do not like and will not buy or rent a pier and beam house. They don't like it. They don't like to have a void underneath the floor. It's more of a mental thing, I think. But there are pros and cons. For instance, the cons on a pier and beam house that's off the ground, you know, with a void in between, is the floor sometimes can get a little off center, get a little wavy. I've even done foundation repair, and it's still not 100% perfect. The pier and beam just has a little bit of movement to it. Now, the pro though to this is if you have, or I should say when, eventually every house does, a plumbing issue, you can actually crawl under, cut the pipes, replace them all under there. It's, I hate to say super easy because I would never do it, but it's a lot easier for the plumber because you're not jackhammering through the foundation, destroying your floors, you know, literally costing tens of thousands of dollars. If it's a slab, slabs are poured basically on the earth. They are very solid because they're, well, concrete. Everything seems to stay in place for the most part. They don't seem to move a lot. Here in North Texas, they do move a lot, but in a lot of parts of the U.S., they don't seem to get unlevel and move around as much as the pier and beams. At least that's what I've noticed from my personal experience. And pretty much everybody loves a slab house. Now, they are more expensive to build, so they're going to be more expensive to buy, but generally you can sell them for more, and they also rent for more as well. So if I get to choose between a pier and beam house and a slab house, I'm going to choose a slab house every time. Now the cons, if you were to have a plumbing issue in a slab house, it's going to be bad because they're going to have to jackhammer everything up. It's going to cost tons of money. I know because I just did it. So those are the pier and beams versus slab. I choose slab, for instance. Next criteria is arguably the most important, and I kind of saved this one till one of the last ones, is location, guys. Do this. Go onto Zillow.com, okay? And then when you hit the search parameter, you can actually draw and then find your house and then do, in my case, I did like a 25-mile bubble all the way around, but I kind of like picked like certain areas. Like I don't like this area, so I kind of went around that one, and I got my own custom. It doesn't even look like a bubble. It looks like a random like leaf or something with all the arms sticking off, and it's just like it's all over the place, right? But it's a perfect like where I want to buy exactly bubble, okay? And I put my parameters. I put 3-bed or above. I put 2-bath or above. I put my price range between this and this because I know the rents in my area, and I like to stay over the 1% rule. That's 1% rent of what you have in the property per month. So if you have $200,000 into a property of your own money, you want to rent it for at least $2,000 a month. Now, that doesn't mean buy it because it meets the 1% rule. That just means you can dig deeper into the expenses to make sure it's still cash flowing at the end of the day. Also, this is very important when it comes to location of a property. This blows people's mind, including mine, because I was a very new real estate investor 3 years ago. Literally before I took off, I bought a bunch of property and I was like, I should have been doing this my whole life. Is this appreciation here, at least in Texas, maybe California, parts of New York, parts of Florida, appreciation trumps cash flow, okay? Let me give you a good example. I have a property a couple miles from my house here that rents for $2,100 per month, okay? But in the last 5 years alone, now that's $2,100 gross. That's obviously minus expenses and stuff like that, okay? So, but in the last 5 years alone, have went up in value by $200,000 in appreciation alone just for me breathing and just for it being there, okay? Because location on a good property in a good location will just explode your portfolio faster than you can imagine, especially if you exponential your portfolio by buying several properties, which you should be doing as a real estate investor. It's also a hedge against losses. If you have 10 properties and 2 are vacant, you still have 80% of your income versus having 2 properties with 2 vacancies, or even 2 properties with 1 vacancy, or 50% of your income. So appreciation in a good area always trumps, or most of the time in most markets, trump cash flow. Remember that. Now you'll be getting both. So that's how you can absolutely become very, very well off in real estate. But choosing a location first is something that is vitally important, and a good location is always worth the money. And the last is buying New versus existing. Here in 2021, we have a crazy dynamic right now where used house prices built in the 1950s and 60s have actually outpaced brand new builds in North Texas. I know it sounds crazy. Why would anybody pay $260,000 for an 1,100 square foot house when they can buy a brand spanking new house for $240,000 that's 1,600 square foot with a warranty? Now you're coming a little bit out on the edge of the city, but like it's a 10-mile difference, maybe not even, okay, in driving. So it gets to the point where, do you buy used or do you buy new? I'll tell you what I do and I'll tell you why. I personally buy used. Now, obviously, I'm not paying retail prices. Okay, I would never pay, $250 for a property that, cash flow or rents for $1,500 a month. That's insanity. But I choose used. I say used. Is it even called a used house? I choose a pre-loved house because I can get in. It's already built. I can get in there, do what I need to do, get out, get it seasoned. That means find a renter and wait 6 months, because most banks want to see 6 months, and then pull my money out doing a cash out refi, and I could do it all over again, again. I don't have to sit there, wait for the house to be built, and then I probably paid full market value for the house in the first place, so I get no instant equity on the property, versus if you were to buy a used property, I call it a used property at $120 that needs some work, you put in, say, $30,000, you're in it for $150, it appraises at $190, you just made $40,000 in equity in possibly 60 days. You can't do that with a new house because you just paid what it's worth, and you have to let appreciation do its thing over time, let the neighborhood build out, that kind of thing, guys. Guys, thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope this opened up a little bit of what it takes to become a real estate investor, breaking down your criteria. If you need to rewatch this again and literally write down this bedroom count, brick count, bathroom count, all this stuff, and literally write it down. Tell me what you're looking for in the comments below. What makes more sense in your area? If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next one.